Hey guys, hope y'all have all had a great week. I'm back again. This time, the quote that I have gathered is from Nelson Mandela, and it is, or he once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So again, that's sort of the new way I'm forming these blogs, is just having a quote and then moving on. I love that quote, especially after the week that I've had in my class, at my placement school, but also in my classes for the methods and for the case studies, because I think we've really been, just working through some really tough topics, topics that might not be as easy in certain areas to discuss. But I love that we can talk about that we can discuss some of these tough things that maybe 20, 30 years ago you couldn't, or you were going to be discouraged. And I respect and admire the work of Mr. Mandela, and so I felt that it was a fitting quote for not just, you know, for the sake of having it, but for what I'm getting ready to discuss and talk about. So again, it was education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So this past week in my placement school was really good, and it's kind of crazy because I'm getting, I'm not really acclimating to them, but in a sense that it's middle school. The children seem to be great. My placement teacher seems to be doing really well with me being there, and this isn't her first rodeo in terms of having a student teacher, teacher aide, or student intern. So she understands what's expected of me outside of her classroom, but also inside. She's made it clear what she wants me to do, and it's just been awesome. It's been great so far. I really appreciate my cooperating teacher. She's comfortable. She makes me feel comfortable. She makes me feel a part of the class. So this past week we talked about what I would be doing in terms of my unit that I'll be teaching, and providing me with just tons of information that for me to think about and stuff. So I'll be doing World War II, and it actually spans over about a month because it's World War II, and I think that's great. I've already begun to think about some of the really cool activities I think the students would enjoy that are different, that are not your typical lecture-based, PowerPoint-aided, but maybe some interactive stations, maybe keeping an interactive notebook throughout throughout the time, and so on. So I'm still hashing through some of those options, and working out some of the ways that I can teach them the material. And it'll be interesting because World War II was really something that I loved and was relevant. It's funny because I think as we're seeing some of these, these kids are going to be graduating in 2019, 2020, from high school, and that'd be a while after I've graduated from high school. So it'll be interesting to see how they see World War II. The people, the events, and all the different little aspects of it. So I'm looking forward to that. This past week, we wrapped up Prohibition, and we moved into the Roaring Twenties and the Jazz Age. The students had interactive stations, so there would be like 12 booths, if you would say, that there would be like those cardboard displays, and on each one you would have maybe a Duke Ellington or a Satchmo, which was basically Louis Armstrong, Bessie Smith, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Georgia O'Keeffe. individual from the 20s that had a lot of influence on the society then, and just had an impact. So was in on these displays, and the children would go around, and some of them had CDs, so you had to listen to their music. Some of them had a textbook with some information. Maybe it was the 19th Amendment. That was one thing the students had to go through. So they'd use the textbook and answer questions. I just really liked that. It was interesting getting to work with some of the kids through some of those stations and answer those questions. It was different. I think the students enjoyed it, and it was just a job well done for my cooperating teacher. I told her that, man, this is, because she kept asking me, what do you think? You think this is good? And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, are you serious right now? And I really respect that she was offering, she wanted my opinion on some of that. So I thought that says a lot, in terms of our relationship and working together, because I'm still sort of new to the class and stuff. So, but just thinking about me using maybe something like that for my World War II unit, and I began to talk with my CT about that. But also just thinking about that, and we're still working through this. It's been really good. It's been interesting to get to know the students. I'm still learning their names. Some of them I remembered, and I joked with one student. She said, "Yes, you remember my name, Mr. Radford," and that's not a good thing. But there's some students that obviously you just kind of get to know, from the jump, and you're like, okay, that their characteristics stand out from all the others. And so there's definitely been a few of those students so far that I've gotten their name down, and I see them in the hallways and chat with them for a few, or see them in the classroom and stuff. So it's been good. Trying to help students that aren't as motivated. It seems that there's maybe a few in every classroom, but that's what's been probably the biggest struggle, is working through some of those hurdles and obstacles, trying to get those students to understand the importance of the work that they're doing, not just for social studies, not for the class, but for themselves, building up their writing skills or reading skills, helping them to understand that, man, this is important, not now, but later. And so trying to help resonate some of those things with them. But I'm hoping that, it's a challenge, one that will be tough at times, and it already has been. So hopefully, maybe that can be part of my SMART goals, is to get some of those students moving forward, with their work and actually doing it without having to hound them and stay on them about it. So, it's been my week so far. It's been really good. It's been a lot of information and processing things and thinking about the lessons and the unit and all the different activities. So I look forward to sharing with everyone, with you all, what I've learned, what I'm going to do. I'll be sure to have some photo snaps and things like that to add to my blog and whatnot, so to share with you guys. So with that, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and appreciate all the viewers and people adding and stuff. It means a lot. So with that, I hope you have a great week, and thanks for watching again. See ya.